Well, for those of you that are here live, you guys are in for a treat. Um, First of all, I want to thank Mike for bringing me on, and I'll tell you a little bit about me. This training is basically our internal traffic system that we use here at our ad agencies in order to predict profits, convert prospects, and actually scale Facebook ads. So, if any of you have ever wondered, what's kind of the best way to actually scale Facebook ads, you guys are going to guys are going to basically get a whole lot of information on how to do that and actually get a framework that you can use to go out there and implement. So with that said, let's move forward. So warning, pay close attention. Some of this may seem confusing, especially if you're brand new, if you haven't had a lot of experience running Facebook ads, and even if you have, some of it may be seem somewhat technical and overwhelming. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I personally put in over 10,000 hours mastering Facebook ads, and we spend a ton of money each and every single month for ourselves as well as for our clients. So that is okay. My whole thing and the biggest thing for each and every single person that's watching this live, or even if you're watching the replay, is to understand the concepts. If you get the concepts of what's happening and why you want to do a particular thing, that's more important than understand all of the details and the nitty gritty stuff, because you can always outsource that or hire the right people to help you with that. Okay, so we're going to go through a lot of information. I would definitely take out a notepad and pen to take some notes. And Mike, if we have enough time at the end, are we going to do a little bit of Q&A as well?
Yeah, that'll be great.
Okay, awesome. All right, so here's my promise to you. I'm going to show you a process for calculating and predicting profits with Facebook. All right, it's imperative that you have a financial model and understand what you can spend to acquire a lead, what you can spend to acquire a customer. And I'm going to walk you through a scenario so that way you understand exactly how to do that. I'm also going to share with you the best way I know to research, launch, and scale Facebook ads to get great results. Okay, so even if you're not clear on how to do proper targeting, by the end of this training, you will be very clear on how to take that approach and to do that. So just a little bit about me for those of you who don't know. My name is Sam Bell III. I'm the #1 high ticket traffic strategist online, meaning we specialize in driving traffic with Facebook ads into high ticket funnels and sales processes. Okay. We've consistently generated high ticket leads and clients for Alex Jeffries, Adam Davies, David Sharp, Dustin Matthews, Simon Lavelle, Jeff Roning, Giancarlo, plus many other coaches and consultants you may see online every single day. All right. So we actually do this full time, for a living. So we're actually in the trenches each and every single day. All right. So here's what you're going to discover today. All right. You're going to discover the FB profit formula. And this is the formula that we use, like I said, to calculate and predict profits. It's very important for you to have your financial model. And I'm going to walk you through that model today. I'm also going to share with you the high ticket avatar method for how to actually go out and pinpoint, who are some of the best targets for you to go after and pursue. All right. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that as well. I'm also going to share with you the conversion copy system for how we actually write and structure copy in such a way that compels people to take action and to engage with us on our ads. And then last but not least, the Facebook hierarchy scaling system. So I'm going to show you how to properly structure your campaigns so you can maximize your ROI once you set those up. All right, so far so good. Quick, is there a chat feature here too?
Yeah, okay. So it's right to the right of it, and you'll see the little box that should show chat.
All right, excellent. Awesome. I see Jorge is on. So guys, so I'm going to engage with you. So I don't care how many people's on here. If it's 2 people, 1 person, I really feed back off of what you guys give me. So I'm definitely going to be checking in with you, making sure you're getting this stuff, because again, some high level things, and I want to make sure you're following along. So if you're okay with that, just type okay in the chat box so I know that you are there, you're paying full attention, and you're locked and loaded. Jorge says, okay, I'm ready to rock. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Eddie, Jacob. Jacob said he is ready to rock. Eddie said he's ready to rock. Okay. And Osama, really? Okay. All right, Osama, we're going to rock and roll. That's funny. All right. So what metrics matter most? So obviously your product price point. All right. Product price point is imperative because based on what you're selling and the commissions or the revenue that's going to come in, that's going to dictate, how you structure your ad campaigns and how much budget you allocate. Also, your funnel conversion points. You want to know the conversion points inside of the funnel so that way you can optimize and leverage those things that you actually have control over. Also, your funnel conversion rates, real or projected, so you can use some base numbers. And it's really awesome when you actually have some control numbers to start with. So, based on the current conversion rate of your opt-in, of your sales letter, of your back-end, it's really going to drive your budget there as well. Then of course your cost per click and cost per visitor. There's definitely a difference, especially when it comes to Facebook. So you want to know the difference there, and we will explain that. So for this particular case study, we're actually going to go through a traditional webinar funnel model. I'm sure every single person that's on here at some point in time have either attended a webinar where there was something was sold or may have even presented one as well. So we're going to go through that. So in this particular case, we have a product price point of $1,000. Okay, so $1,000, that's what the product is selling for on the webinar. We have a projected conversion rate of 5%. So that means for every 100 people that attend the webinar at a 5% conversion rate, we should make 5 sales. All right. Next, our webinar attendance rate is 40%. So if we set up and we have, say, 200 people register to attend a webinar, we can expect 40% of those people to actually show up live. All right. So far, so good. Excellent. And we have a webinar registration page conversion rate of around 10%. All right. And our average cost per click is $1. Now, all of these numbers are actually very conservative numbers as it pertains to a webinar funnel. And you'll see how by making slight tweaks in each step of the funnel or our conversion profit levers, how we can actually increase our profits. And this will all make sense towards the end. All right. So here we go. So again, our cost per click is $1. So in order for us to get 100 clicks or 100 visitors, it's going to cost us $100. Okay, $1 CPC. Now we said we had a 10% conversion rate. All right, so a 10% conversion rate. So out of the 100 people that we push to our webinar registration page, we're only going to get 10 of those people to convert into a registration. All right. So with that, our cost per registrant is going to be $10. All right. So we have a $10 cost per registrant. Just so far, so good. If you guys are following along, just type in, yes, I'm with you. I got it. I'm following, just so I know you guys are hanging in there. Awesome. Awesome. All right, cool. So let's proceed. So we have a webinar attendance rate of 40%. So out of the 10 people who actually registered, we're only going to get 40% of those people to show up. In this case, 10 registrations, 4 attendees. All right, 4 attendees we're going to actually have show up here. So what is our cost per attendee? Well, if we spend $100 and out of those $100 that we spent, we only got 4 people to show up. So 4 divided by 100 is $25 per attendee. All right, so it's $25 to actually get someone live on the webinar to hear our marketing or sales message. Now, with that, we have a webinar conversion rate of 5%. Well, considering if we only have 4 people on, for people to attend the webinar, we're probably not going to make a sale because that's not enough people to have attended in order for us to generate a profit. So really what we want to determine is how many attendees do we need to attend in order for us to actually break even, all right, to break even on our ad spend. Because that's our first goal when we're buying traffic. You know, we don't want to launch a campaign expecting that we're going to make $1 million overnight. That doesn't work that way. The reality is that you're going to launch a campaign, you're going to buy some data, evaluate that data, and improve upon your campaigns. And as you optimize, profits will be generated. Okay, so let's walk through the numbers here. So let's increase. Let's say we wanted to get 25 attendees, right? So 25 attendees times 5%. That's going to generate 1.25 sale or 1 sale. And considering we sell, our price point is $1,000, all right? So it's going to take us 25 people, all right, 25 attendees in order to generate a gross profit of $1,000 at that 5% conversion rate. So 25 attendees times $25, all right? Because remember, we said it's going to cost us $25 to get an attendee on. So 25 times 25. That's a total of $625 in ad spend. Now, just think about this for a second. If you didn't run this model and you spent $300 and you shut down your campaign, you basically shot yourself in the foot because you did not allow for enough ad spend to go through or enough data to collect in order for you to even get one sales conversion. And I see this all the time. When people will launch a campaign, they'll spend a few $100s and they say, hey, we haven't made any sales, let's kill it. Well, a lot of times, if you let the campaign run long enough, you'll get enough traffic and enough data to where you can actually generate the conversion. But you want to actually run a predictable model on the front end so that way you have an idea of how much money you need to allocate. In this case, we need to spend $625 to generate one sale. All right. So $1,000 minus $625 in ad spend is going to give us a net profit of $375. All right. So $375. All right. So we had to spend $625 to make $1,000. We put $375 in our pocket. We're happy. We made some money. So let's multiply this. So let's say we wanted to get 100 attendees. So 100 attendees times 5%, okay, 5% conversion rate. That's going to generate 5 sales at a total of $5,000 gross profit. All right, so we have $1,000 price point, and we have 100 attendees at 5% conversion. That's 5 sales, $5,000 gross profit. So what does it cost us to get 100 attendees? Well, remember from our prior calculations, it costs us $25 to get an attendee. So 100 attendees times $25 is $2,500 in ad spend. All right, so $2,500 in ad spend. So we made $5,000 in gross profit minus $2,500 in ad spend. We have a net profit of $2,500. All right, so based on everyone that's here, how many people here would spend $2,500 to make $5,000? Would you guys do that all day? I need some interaction. So rock with me here. Let me know. Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course. So if you understand and you know your numbers, you understand how much money you need to invest into your ad campaign in order to be successful. It just becomes a numbers game. That's it. That's all it is. All right. So you want to be able to run your numbers, know exactly what you need to allocate for your budget and spend a budget so that way you can generate the sales. All right. So this is going to give you a competitive advantage of people who don't understand this and they kill their campaigns way too soon. So in this particular case, let's talk about our conversion profit levers. All right. Now, our conversion profit levers are essentially the points in our sales funnel or sales process that we can optimize in order to increase our conversion rates on the back end. All right. So our cost per visitor. Now, in the example that I showed you here, our cost per visitor was $1 per visitor. Now, if we were able to cut that down to 50 cents, we can effectively double our profits. So that's one profit lever. Just by us reducing our cost per click from $1 to 50 cents, we can essentially double our profits because we're going to get double the amount of traffic. But let me show you how this compounds and how powerful this is. So that's one conversion profit lever. The next is our webinar registration page. In the example I showed, we were only converting at 10%. So let's say we made some tweaks to our page, some tweaks to our copy, and we were able to optimize and double the conversion rate from 10% to 20%. So now we've effectively doubled our profits again because we cut our cost per click in half, doubled our webinar registration rates. So now this is compounding. All right. So we've doubled our profits twice at this point. Our webinar attendance rate, we were only at a 40% attendance rate. So let's say that we were able to increase that to 60%. Now we've even compounded our profits more by another 20% because we have 20% more people attending the webinar. All right. Our webinar sales conversion rate, let's say we can optimize that and we can get it from 5% to 7%. Well, that's another 20% increase in the sales conversion rate. So I'm hoping you guys see the power of how all of these different profit levers in your sales process can impact your overall ROI. So if this makes sense to you, just type in yes. So I know that you guys are getting this and understanding the importance of knowing what the profit levers are, and by making minor improvements, how this can compound. Absolutely. Absolutely. Excellent. So with that said, that is how you can improve upon and know exactly what amount of money you need to allocate and spend based on those conversion numbers. And the beautiful part that you guys are already working with Mike. Mike has actually done all the optimization for you and has made it super easy. So you actually have a proven and converting funnel. All right. You just need to put traffic into the funnel to generate just commissions, leads, and sales. All right. So
Yeah. One thing that I want to say too, and this is very interesting. So we went from I'm getting a lot of feedback. Could you turn it down a little bit, Sam?
sure.
Okay. So we went from a $2,000 price point last year for our license, and we actually got a lot of people that weren't that committed. They didn't do much with the program, and we increased it to essentially $6,000 this year. So $5,980. We're converting the same amount of people, and we're getting way more committed people. Like, you know, when you're talking about an almost $6,000 price point, you're a lot more committed than maybe if you spend $1,000 or $2,000. And when you can convert at the same clip, we're closing 5% on the back end through our sales funnel. Completely changes the game. So guys, like, Sam's talking about all these different conversion profit levers. These little tweaks make huge differences, and when you test them, it really changes the game for you. So you always have to be testing. Like, literally, we effectively tripled our price. We got way better customers, and we stayed at the same conversion rate. So
most people would be afraid to price test, and they basically went from $2,000 to $6,000, and that has a significant impact on even what you can pay to acquire a customer as well. So all of these things definitely impact your numbers, your revenue, and so I really hope you guys see the power of this. So awesome. Thanks for that, Mike. So moving on. So let's talk about how do we even identify and target and find the right prospects, right? So our approach is a little different than a lot of mainstream, because I understand the power of the Facebook pixel. And when I'm first launching a campaign, if I don't have any data, when I say I don't have any data, meaning that I don't have any list or database to start with, and I'm starting from fresh, well, I want to make sure the people that are seeing my ads and are clicking on my ads are the most qualified people. In addition to that, I don't want to target the same people that everybody else is targeting. So I'd rather actually go after micro audiences that are highly engaged and much more responsive than bigger audiences. And when I say micro audiences, I'm talking targeting interest in some cases of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people. Now, although the audience itself may be small, the objective is to make sure that I am seasoning my pixel with the best people possible that I know are passionate, that I know have the income and can afford to make the investment in my product and service. Because the more that I season the pixel with good data, I'm going to be able to leverage, and it's going to serve me well later on down the line. And you're going to spend less money optimizing your campaigns, because when you have a much bigger audience, Facebook has to weed through. If you say, for example, you start with a few 100,000 people, well, Facebook has to churn through that few 100,000 people through that group of people to identify the segment of that audience that's going to perform. Well, it's going to cost a little bit more money for the algorithm to work its thing, because you're dealing from a much bigger pool of people, versus when you're dealing from a smaller pool of people, Facebook can actually find those individuals that much faster. So we actually take a more micro targeting approach. So we want to identify the most passionate segments who have the resources to invest. And in some cases, we can even double qualify our interest by layering if you're not 100% sure. And essentially what that means is that you can qualify the target interest more than once by incorporating what we call audience stacking, where you actually have one interest and then you intersect it with another interest. So you're basically telling Facebook, I want to target someone that has this interest and this interest to ensure they're super, super qualified. All right. And in some cases, we'll do that. Now, what you don't want to do, you don't want to target what seems to be popular, right? If other people are targeting the same thing and everyone knows about it, some of the regulars obviously are like Frank Kern, Ryan Dice. And not to say that those interests and targets don't work, they do, but understand that you're going against a pool of sharks who really understand their marketing, really understand copy, really have optimized sales funnels. And you're competing against those people in the auction. So why compete against sharks when you can go and fish in a smaller pond and get just as good or even better quality people without having to compete as much? Also, don't just jump into audience insights and use the first interest that seem relevant. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with audience insights, that's okay. We'll discuss that here shortly. For those of you that are, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll go in there, we'll type in a few interests, and we'll find some that Facebook shows us, and we'll just roll with that. There's a better way. All right. And last but not least, don't target huge audiences if you are not selling to the masses. And instead, target very specific niches. If you are not, selling things that millions and millions of people will buy for men or women, you rather niche down and be more targeted and more specific. All right. So let me walk you through how we would do this. Okay. Let's actually go live on the internet here. All right. So let me open this up here. So we're actually going to open up audience insights here. And traditionally, when you come in here, when you come into audience insights and you're looking for target interest, you may just kind of think off the top of your head and say, okay, well, what is it that people who are in my niche, what are they interested in? So in this particular case, if you're working with Mike, you may want to go after people who are interested in starting their own online business or their own internet business or looking to make money online, right? So I may come in here and I might type in, make money online, all right? Make money online, Nigeria. That's funny. Definitely not one we would probably target. Make money. So how to make money on the internet. So you basically come in here and just kind of be researching, right? But the reality is that these aren't very targeted interests. This one only has a very small audience, not very big, and this is kind of broad. Okay, so we might even drill down and say, okay, well, who are some of the people that are teaching how to make money online? What are some other sources that we can go through? Well, one of the things we can do is we can actually start with Google to begin doing this research, right? So I'll go to Google and I'll say, make money online. And then what I want to do is I want to see what organic search results are out there. Okay. So we have the Penny Hoarder. Okay. We have Forbes, Lifehack Scott Turner. Okay. The Balance, Lifehack Globalist Test Market, Opinion Outpost, Money Pantry. So now I want you to understand the concept and the thought process of this. The way Facebook works, Facebook will you can only target based on interest, demographics, and psychographics, right? Well, when you go to Google, the thing that separates Google from Facebook is the intent. When someone goes to Google and they search for a specific thing, their intent is different and will generally be better because they're actively searching for a very specific thing. So how can we leverage that? Well, one of the things we do is we'll use the keywords that our target market are actively searching for, and we want to identify the organic results that are showing in Google. Why is that? Well, these particular keywords probably have a ton of traffic, and most websites nowadays also have a social media following. So if they're getting a ton of organic traffic from Google based on these keywords, then their audience that follows them is also going to correspond to those who are actively searching because of the intent that's there. All right. So I hope that makes sense. So let's go here. So Scotland Turner, would you like to stay 1,000 in 1 week? No, I have enough money right now. All right. So let's take a look here. So get out of debt faster, save more money, retire rich. So this is a blog, someone that is actively marketing. And here's really all I care about is I want to see their social media following. I want to see how many people like their page and if they're a community that I could potentially target. So he has 3,585 people who like his page. It looks like he has a radio show, so he has a following there. You can see it's pretty much it's just a page here. All right, so we're going to come back to this. The next thing we're going to do, Opinion Outposts, make money online. Figuring out how to make money online at Opinion Outposts. Happy to provide an opportunity. So this is like more of an opportunity site, right? So let's take a look here. Let's see what their social media following looks like. Opinion Outposts, they have 49,000 people who like the page. All right, and so join the growing community of Opinion Outposts and be rewarded for sharing your opinion. So basically, they pay people for sharing their opinion. So anyone who was affiliated with this, they're looking for a way to make some money. What was the other one? Money Pantry. Okay, let's check out the Money Pantry. So again, 75 ways to make money online. Swag Bucks. Okay, so basically, they're telling people to join Swag Bucks. That's how they can make some money. So again, let's look at their social media following here. Look at this. That has 7,000 shares, that actual post there. All right, and so they have a following of 1,337 people. So a lot of times, people will see this and they'll get discouraged. They'll say, well, hey, they don't really have a big following. I'm going to show you how we can actually leverage even small followings. So let's just start with Scott and let's see if he is someone that we can target on Facebook. So I'm just going to pop his name in here. Scott Allen. Let's see if this. Nope. So that's not him. So no, he's not a target, but that's okay. Let's check out Opinion Outposts. Let's see if there are interests that we can target. All right, so Opinion Outposts is. So Opinion Outposts, they have 20 to 25,000 active people. Let's see what some of the other pages are here. It's a little weird. Freebie Mom. I like to look at the other pages and see if there's other things that we could potentially target. But the only one that even looks maybe somewhat relevant is Swag Bucks, but it's 2.1 million people. So that's too broad. All right. But that's okay. So let's take a look at the demographic here. So 82% women ages 25 to 54 predominantly. Mostly married, college educated. That's good. So let's take a look here at their household. So what I'm looking for is the income. All right. So 23 and 20%. So primarily this audience earns between $50,000 to $100,000. So more than likely they have some disposable income that they can invest potentially. All right. And they also own homes. 59% is home ownership. And they spend on bank cards and credit cards. So that's good to know. Let's take a look at their purchase behavior. Online purchases, very high, 40%, 32%. Food and drink, subscription services. And so they're buyers. So this is a potentially good audience, right? So how can we leverage this? Okay, so Opinion Outpost, this is probably not something that a lot of people are targeting, but it would probably be a good interest to pursue and go after, right? But how can we expand on this? How can we find other interests for us to target similar to Opinion Outposts, right? So here's what we do. So there's a site called Find My FBID. And basically what this site does, every Facebook page, every Facebook profile has a numerical ID associated with it. So what we want to do is we want to find out what that numerical ID is. So for Opinion Outposts, this is the Facebook numeric ID. So why is this even relevant? Well, there's actually a query that you can run on Facebook where Facebook will look at the page and it will find similar pages that the audience that is on that page also like, visit, and engage with. All right. So this is a way that we can actually hack Facebook, if you will, ethically to identify other pages and interests that we can target. All right. And this is the page right here, facebook.com/pages ?from page ID equals. All right. So I'm just going to put this in here and I'm going to do a search. So these are now other pages that people like that have a very similar audience. So we have Opinion Square, One Opinion, My Survey, Earn Honey, I Say, Swag Bucks, here it is again, Crowd Tap, Valued Opinion, Point Club, Survey Spot. So these are probably all similar. Cash Crate, ePoll. So these are all like little sites where people can probably go and give their opinion and get paid for doing so. Cashback Research. All right. So these are all people who are looking to make money. So if they're taking time to fill out these opinion surveys, they may not even be aware of some of the opportunities that you are, right? So obviously they're looking to make money online if they are following these sites here, right? So here we go. 50,000 people here. Let's just see what they're about. You got opinions, earn rewards for sharing them. We're an online community of 2 million people who share their opinions through surveys and a variety of topics while earning rewards and points. So potentially a good target. One Opinion, I'm going to assume that they do the same thing. Earning cash, big brand, yep, same thing. My Survey, very similar. I'm sure you guys get the point. So essentially here, what I would do is I would just go through these pages and see if we can actually target them. All right. So Earn Money is an innovative way to make money online and go on the go and at home. All right. Let's take a look at Earn Honey. Earn Honey has 16,000 people. So let's see if there are interests that we can target. So Earn Honey. Boom. Earn money at home. Let's see what we got here. Not a big interest there. Let's say earn honey. They're not an interest. That's fine. Let's take a look at some of the other ones. My survey. So let's see if my survey is something that we can use. And basically what I'll do, so here's my survey. I would go through and validate these. So if my survey has 90 to 100,000 people, 79% women, again, 25 to 54. So again, you can see that the demographic is very, very similar. Okay, my survey, you can see some of the pages. Again, the main thing that I want to look at, I want to see how they engage. I want to look at their household. Do they actually earn income? So again, 50,000 to 100,000 primarily, the selected Facebook users. They do have a high percentage on the low end. And you can actually exclude this too inside of the targeting. So they spend a lot of cash. So that's interesting. Let's take a look at their purchase behavior. Online purchases, definitely a lot. Pet product subscription services. So they do spend money. So again, so now you have another interest that's probably outside of the norm that other people would go after, for you to target. All right. So far, so good. Does this make sense? Just type in a yes in the yes box so I know that you guys are with me and are getting this. Great. Awesome. Only one person got that for the most part. All good, Jacob. Like I said, there are some things here that, maybe seems a little technical, whatever the case may be. It's okay. Just get the concepts. And as you guys get the concepts, you'll be able to go back and through practice, get this. Here's the URL there. So that way you guys can play with that. Here's the other URL for the tool. So you guys have that as well. So awesome. So I can continue to go through this and I would probably build a list of around 15 to 20 interests that I could actually test and see, because again, I'm more interested in seasoning my pixel with the right people that are interested in making money and earning an income, more so than going just broad and kind of guessing. All right. Cool beans. So let's hop back here into the slideshow. So once you have your target interest, the next thing is you want to be able to communicate with them in such a way that's going to compel them to take action, right? So when you're running your ads on Facebook, you want to speak the language, you want to communicate with them. And it really boils down to how well your copy is written. Now, you don't have to be a super duper copy ninja. You can just use some basic things, some basic psychology and understanding in order to write copy well enough so people will engage with your ads, click on your ads, and that's really all you want them to do. You're not trying to sell people. The whole purpose of the ad itself is just to get the click. The only thing you're selling is the click. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So you want to be sure to use language and verbiage that's familiar to your prospects. So instead of jargon and slang that only you want to make sure if you're talking to someone who may take surveys, right? So let's say if you're targeting people that do the surveys or they do the opinion polls, you might say something like, are the surveys and opinion polls not paying enough? Would you be interested to know a proven system where you can earn anywhere between, where you can earn, way more than what you're probably getting paid for your time? Or maybe you can say, hey, do you taking surveys online for cash suck? Do you feel like it's a waste of time and you're not getting compensated for the amount of time you spent? There's a better way, right? So, that's how I would take that approach. Call out your prospects in your ad copy so they know it's for them. So again, in this particular example, I mentioned how we would mention surveys, how we would mention opinion polls, because we know the audiences that we're targeting, they're currently doing that to generate income and make some extra spending money. All right. So we want to call them out in the copy. You also want to show the prospect what's in it for them and the benefit of clicking your ad. I'm going to show you a proven process that anyone can use to earn a full-time income online working part-time, right? So if they're only making, $10 or $20 a day on those surveys, this is a way they can actually earn a real full-time income to provide for themselves and their families. Also, the imagery that you use in your ads is very important. This is actually a tip from a buddy of mine, Nicholas Kusmich, if you guys don't know him. And basically, the only thing is you want to add contrast to your images to make them stand out. So when people scroll through the news feed, the image probably accounts for around 70 to 80% in addition to the ad copy itself. Because the ad image is what's going to catch their attention and stop them. And the copy is what's going to convert them or persuade them to actually click on the ad and to fill out your form, to register for your webinar, to opt into your list, whatever the case may be. All right. So far so good. Somebody said the audio is lost. Can you guys still hear me? If you guys can hear me, just type in yes. So that way I know we are still good to go, folks. Jorge says, yes, it is all good. All right. Eddie, Maurice, Charles, Dorcel, David. We all good? You guys can hear me? Awesome. Okay, cool. Excellent. All right, cool. So this is an example of how we actually structure our ads. And one of my recommendations to you is when you're creating your Facebook campaigns, write your ad copy first. Have your ads set up, ready to go. So that way, when you go to actually create the ad itself, you have everything right there. You can just copy and paste it. So this is essentially the format that we use. We'll have our tracking URL, and our post text will start with a question that resonates with the target audience, and we'll call them out. So say, hey, survey taker, or hey, opinion poll taker, looking for a better way to earn more income. Okay. Engage them with compelling copy, and again, speak their language, and if you want to get really creepy with it, you can even call out, so you can say something like, hey, are you a My Survey user? Right. So if you were targeting that interest, if you want to get really granular and write a piece of copy for the actual target interest, it's a bit more work, but the people will be super responsive, super duper responsive. Right. So you can actually call them out and say that, hey, are you a My Survey taker? Did you know that there's a better way to earn income online with less work? Okay. One of the things that I've also tested too is to have a call to action in the opening line of copy. So that way it's above the fold. So for those people who are hot, active clickers, they'll click and they'll just go straight to your landing page. All right. Also, you want to introduce yourself and connect with your audience. Understand that Facebook is a very social platform, and people go there to connect with people. So they're not going there necessarily looking for a particular thing, although based on your research, that they have an interest or they have a propensity to be interested in making money online, whatever the case may be, but that's not what they're there for. So you want to connect with them. You want to build some interaction. You want them to feel comfortable with you and know that you're a regular person. You're a human being, and you're connecting with them, and you're sharing something of value with them. All right. Also, be sure to ask them for a comment, to increase engagement. You will be surprised just by asking someone to like, share, or tag, comment someone else, how many people do that. So you can increase engagement. Generally, I'll do that towards the end of the post text, and I'll ask them to, hey, if you found this post valuable and you feel as though that it could help someone that be sure to comment, tag them. They'll thank you later. Okay. I use that line in a lot of the posts that we write, and it works extremely well to increase engagement. So again, link headline, call out your audience, state what you have. If you're going to do right hand column ads, which I suggest you do, a lot of people dismiss right hand column and they work like gangbusters, especially if you're driving people to a webinar, automated webinar of some sort. They're more likely to actually engage and watch it from the desktop. So if you're not using right hand column, I highly suggest that you test that and incorporate that into your advertising. Make sure you have a separate right-hand ad copy because you have less real estate to work with in terms of how many text fields you have available. Your display link should match the URL of your lander. It used to be a few months ago, people would put text there. Don't do that. Your ad will get denied. So ensure you have the URL in the display link that match the same URL as your landing page. In the link description, restate the benefit and what's in it for them. What are they going to get? Again, when you click on this, I'm going to show you a quick way, a fast way to earn a full-time income within half the time without having to spend a bunch of time taking surveys or whatever the case may be. All right. Awesome. So this is just an example of one of the ads that we've created. Watch this and duplicate a 4-page site that generates 5 to 7 coaching clients weekly. And you can see the description. You'll walk away with our coaching client attraction method by attending, right? So I'm restating a benefit there, all right? So just to kind of give you an idea of how that works, all right? So awesome. If you guys have questions, begin writing them down. We're almost into the Q&A session, and I know this is a lot of information to cram, but I just want to make sure, is this good stuff? Are you guys getting this stuff? Yes, no, maybe so. If you don't respond, I'm just going to feel like you don't like me. Take that personal. Awesome. Cool. I appreciate it. Excellent. All right, cool. So let's keep going. So the FB hierarchy system. So Facebook has a hierarchy structure to it. Okay. You have the campaign, which is the highest level. You have the ad set level where most of the targeting and interest and bidding and all that stuff take place. And then you have the ad level. So these are very important things for you to know and understand when you are running your campaigns. Okay. You want to make sure you can identify which placements are driving traffic and leads. What do I mean by that? Well, most of the time, by default, when you launch a campaign inside of Facebook, by default, Facebook will group all of the placements, meaning that they will target desktop newsfeed, mobile newsfeed, audience network, Instagram, and any other placement all in one ad set. That is a no-no. In fact, you want to structure your campaigns to where your placements are segmented at the campaign level. What does that mean? Well, if I'm going to target desktop newsfeed, I'm going to have a campaign that only targets desktop newsfeed. So the ad sets within the campaign, every ad set is set to only target desktop newsfeed. I will duplicate that campaign once that's done, and then I will create another one that is only mobile newsfeed. So at the campaign level, I'm only targeting one type of placement. This is imperative for your success because your click-through rates, relevance scores is going to be different based on the placements as well as your CPM. Okay, so what you're paying for your impressions to Facebook is going to be different based on your placement. So you want to segment that. All right, it's very, very important. You also want to ensure you know what interest or target is responsible for your traffic and leads. Well, how do we do that? Well, when you set up your campaigns, at the ad set level is where you're going to target your specific interests. A lot of times what people will do is they will target multiple interests within the same existing ad set. Well, when we're doing micro targeting, we don't want to do that. We want to identify which interests perform, which one has the highest click-through rate, which one is providing us with the cheapest leads, the best conversions. Super, super important for us to know and understand that. So how do we do that? Well, by doing so, we only add one interest per ad set. One interest per ad set. And I only have one image per ad set. All right, so very important. One interest and one image per ad set. So, for example, if I have 5 different images and I have 5 different interests, okay, I'm going to create an ad set for each image and an ad set for each interest. So multiply that 5 times 5, I will have a total of 25 ad sets. So that way I can identify the interest that performs the best and I can identify the image that performs the best. All right. Now, it's a bit more work to do that, but with Facebook and through Power Editor, you can duplicate your ad sets, so it doesn't take that much time, but it's worth it. Okay. Because if you don't know which interests are performing and you don't know which images are performing, it's very difficult for you to optimize and scale your campaigns. All right. So very, very important. Next, you want to make sure that you isolate your demographics to maximize your ROI. What do I mean? Well, when you first launch a campaign, especially if you have a small target audience, initially I will target, both men and women, and I will have the same age range between, 25 to 54. Now, if through my research, I know that the audience is primarily women, I may only target women, but initially I'll launch with both. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze my data. Okay. I'm going to break that down. I'm going to say, okay, out of this, what age group is performing the best? Meaning which age group is giving me the best CTR? Which age group is giving me the cheapest clicks? Which age group is giving me the lowest cost per lead or cost per sale? All right. I'm also going to look at the demographics. Are men converting better or are women converting better? Okay. And the reason I want to look at this data is because when I create my additional campaigns and as I optimize, I'm going to create specific ad sets within the existing campaign to only target the demographic that performs the best and exclude the demographic that did not perform. So you want to isolate your demographics. Does that make sense, everybody? You guys with me? Just type in yes so I know that you guys are following along. Awesome. Awesome. Man, Mike, I can't believe, man, an hour has flew by. And so I want to make sure that we have time for Q&A. So I know there's some questions. We have limited time here, but I definitely want to leave you with this before we go into the Q&A. This is a quote from one of my favorite people. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. So guys, if you've been running campaigns and your results have been dismal, it's definitely time to do something different. This information that I share with you in the hour that we spent together is very powerful. It works. I know it works. We use it every single day within our agency. So I'm just going to challenge you to take action, to implement the things that you've learned here. Just test it and see, and know that you're going to fail. It's okay. You really aren't failing. You're only testing and you're knowing and learning. Okay. It's only failure when you quit. Understand that you're not going to knock it out of the park, but you're getting valuable data that you can use to optimize and scale your campaigns. But I want you guys to go out there, test this stuff, and see for yourself. So with that said, I will open it up for Q&A. Mike, you there, man?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome, man. Guys, if you have questions, just type them into the chat box. Again, I know I went over a lot of information in a short period of time. But I wanted to make sure that I got as much to you as possible. Eddie says, can you show us landing pages that will work well for Mike's program that are compliant with the Facebook TOS, where we can collect leads and redirect them to Mike's pre-sale video? So here's the thing. Facebook does not necessarily like bridge pages. So bridge page meaning that, and let me just pull something up here. All right, so bridge page meaning that we just send people to a squeeze page. They opt in, and then you redirect them to another page. So here's what I would recommend. And this is a little bit more technical, but this is kind of a loophole. Iframe your redirect, meaning that whatever URL that you send people to, keep them on it, if you can, right? So this is a squeeze page that is compliant. I have all of my privacy policies disclaimer. I also say that, hey, this site is not a part of Facebook whatsoever. It is not endorsed by Facebook. And this page converts anywhere between 25 to 30%. So this is definitely one that works and is compliant, right? So you can offer them whatever kind of the lead magnet is, but this is one that works well. This is another page that also works well. And you can use this for both squeeze pages and webinar registration pages as well. So this is kind of like a two-step page. So we basically drive them here, ask them how did they hear about us, and then when they click on it, it brings up the opt-in box. Now in this particular case, this is in a webinar registration page format, but for you guys, this could be just a opt-in page here, right?
How well does that page convert?
To cold traffic, it's converted around 20-25%.
Solid.
Yeah. So does this help you, Eddie? Awesome. Excellent. Excellent. All right, folks. What other questions we got? This is your time, so please take full advantage of it.
I actually do have a Facebook page that I've ran. It's not as built out as some of Sam's pages, but I've never gotten banned with it. Kind of like the angles that I go with, it can't be make money. It's got to be like one of the pages that I run is like how we received 112,796 leads in the past 3 months, something like that. You got to go. You can't go really with make $500 a day angle. Like that's no good. Like for us, what I've found personally, and Sam spends 100 times more on Facebook than me. So take this with a grain of salt. That's why I brought Sam in. But for me, it's always just been like the tactic stuff, like how we bring in leads, how we've gotten 5x for every single dollar we spend on our sales funnel, stuff like that. So we don't really try to make income claims, or we try to use like a case study type of angle, so that we stay compliant.
Excellent. Good point. Real good point. Gold. Jorge says, do you use the FB pixel for tracking? Absolutely. Absolutely. The Facebook pixel is absolutely critical for your success and for you to optimize. So you want to have the pixel on every single page of your website. Okay. And you want to install this little guy here to ensure this is a Chrome extension. If you guys don't use Chrome, you guys should use Chrome. There's an extension called the FB Pixel Helper. So that way you can ensure that all your pixels are firing properly and they're loading properly. We also use standard events on all of our pages as well. So you'll notice on this page here, I have my main pixel, and I also have the view content event, right? Because I'm basically telling Facebook when I launch this campaign, I want you to optimize for view content, meaning I want you to optimize to show my ads to people who are more likely to click on the ad and come land on this page. Okay. So yeah, so as soon as they hit this page, I'm tracking them. And in every step of the way, I'm tracking them through the sales process. So yeah, absolutely, man. You definitely want to make sure that you're using the Facebook pixel. Excellent. Good question. All right. Who else we got out there? No problem, Jorge. You're welcome, my man. Any opinion on capturing email address through Facebook lead ads? Yeah, I think lead ads are awesome. The thing with lead ads, in order for those to be effective, your follow-up game has to be on point. Meaning that if someone opts in through a lead ad, you gotta email them, and the emails have to be compelling because people will forget. Now, myself personally, when I run lead ads, I don't just capture email addresses. I capture name, email, and phone number because I actually integrate it with the system that I use, with the automation system that I use. So that way I can market to them via SMX text. I can send them voicemail drops, and I can send them email drops, right? And the reason I want to do that is I want to use a multi-channel approach because I know on average email is only going to get around a 20% open rate versus a text message is going to get around a 90 to 95% open rate, right? So, and as well as voicemail as well. So I use a combination of all those different channels to maximize my response rate.
And here's and I know Maurice, he uses ClickFunnels. Here's exactly how you would do that. So you would set up that lead ad with Zapier and ClickFunnels, and they would zap it over to ClickFunnels. It would be added to an Actionetics campaign if you have Actionetics, and you can add Slide Dial, Twilio, and then your email campaign to all follow up with that lead. So like Sam was saying, you know, first off, you have to realize there's a lot less friction with the lead ads. So they're clicking a button, they're entering their information. There's a lot less friction. What that also means that the lead is a lot less pre-sold instead of clicking on an ad, reading a landing page, entering their email, and going to the next page. If all they're doing is click on an ad and clicking yes to enter their email, they're less pre-sold. But if you're doing email, if you're doing a text and you're doing a slide dial, voicemail drop automatically, and you could do all this stuff literally with Zapier, where it sends it over to ClickFunnels. Your Actionetics has a campaign that automatically sends all that stuff, and I mean your lead ad leads will become 4 to 5 times more valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. All right. What else we have here? That's quite the system. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Any other questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace, because it is almost chow time. Going once, going twice. So, Mike, did you have anything, man, that you wanted me to go over? Any questions you have, buddy?
No, I think we're pretty good, man. I know, like I was saying, Eddie wanted to work with you for some of that credit repair stuff. So I'll hook you guys up off Facebook. This has been great. Do you have anywhere you want to send them?
Yeah,
I know I
yeah.
put it at the end of the webinar too. It'll send them to that link. But if you want to send them anywhere real quick to get more info on you, or if you guys want to hire Sam to run Facebook ads for you or whatever, extremely good. I mean, he works with some big time clients. That's really all I have to say.
Awesome. Yeah, I just put a link in there for everybody. So you guys can actually go download this. This is a very detailed walkthrough and report on the high ticket avatar method, as well as an additional bonus training. Plus, I show you how I also use the Google Display Network and AdWords to really research and dig deep. So it's more of a deep dive and some really cool stuff in there. So definitely go check that out if you guys got some value from this. It will definitely help you. And then any unanswered questions or anything that you may have missed, it's covered in there, guaranteed. So awesome, man. Mike, I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate you bringing me on, allowing me to share with everyone. I hope this has been valuable. And again, everyone, go out there, take action, man. Implement the stuff that you learn here, so that way you can be successful and crush it with Mike's system.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Sam. Like people really love this. I'll hook you up with Eddie on Facebook, and we'll go from there.
Awesome, man. Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
No problem, Sam. Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.